All right, good stuff. So real quick, what we'll do is we'll take a frame by frame look at what the V1 is going to show us. So we have here's the down the line view. I mean, setup's good. Obviously, a good athlete. If anything, I would just say kind of bend the knees a little bit more, kind of a little locked in the legs there, but good lines there with the back. That all looks good. And of course, we'll talk about it later, but you know, swing plane is pretty important. What you'll see is do a good job of swinging up and down on that plane. Just redraw that. Start. So plane line looks good. You swing up it real good. It's just a little bit, as you see at the top, maybe more hands kind of getting thrown at the golf ball from the top. So you'll see as we get back down into impact, you know, I should start to be able to see, you know, your left buttock a little bit more out of that frame. Okay, so still a little locked with the legs there at impact, back foot's still kind of stuck to the ground. And as we come through, you see there's not a lot of really rotation in there. So it's just starting the downswing, what they say, from the ground up. You know, pretty much once we get to that frame there, we want to initiate the lower body. All right, so you mentioned impact, or you mentioned consistency, and consistency comes with impact. So, you know, we were talking about before whether we catch a fat, catch a tin. We saw a little mixed bag of tricks, and you know, a lot of guys on tour would only miss it one way. I mean, Nicklaus won 18 majors missing it one way. He started left and curved it off to the right halfway through. So, you know, when we talk about consistency, it's all going to come down to impact. So, you know, what we see everybody on tour is once we get to impact, okay, hips are open, hands lead the race. Now, every time you catch it thin, okay, that's throwing the hands, okay, then the club head outraces the hands. Okay, so again, at impact, what I see from your point of view is that shaft matches up with that front leg. Okay, and the hands and the club shaft make that letter Y. The hands lead the race, as opposed to getting up to the top, starting with the hands. Okay, now that club head gets back to the golf ball, and then we're just a little bit late with the hips, and your hips will still be pointing out to the right. So especially if you're missing it to the right, that tells us we got to get going with the hips a little bit more. And then in terms of consistency as well. So, I mean, there's a few drills I like to do for that. I guess that means I'm going to have to hit a golf shot here. So, I mean, first things first, got to take the gloves off, I guess. But impact. I mean, what I tell people is a divot never tells a lie. So, wherever that divot is, directly above that is where our hands are. So from your point of view, if I'm striking the golf ball if I'm striking the ground prior to the golf ball, divot's behind the golf ball, hands are directly above that. Every time you hit it fat, you better believe at impact your hands are pretty much right towards your belt buckle, as opposed to good strike, when I strike and brush the grass towards the left side, then you can see directly above that divot is again my hands. Okay, so stand right over on that side for me. That way you'll get a little bit better view. I'll give you 3 drills, simply because I'm a little bit of a drill guy. All right, which you probably haven't learned in our time together. But number 1, I've gotten good success with just doing something as simple as this. Okay, and placing the club in between our legs, and trying to brush the grass as far to the left side as possible. Okay, I'm amazed at how many of my lessons will swing, and we'll just do this for the first 5 minutes, and then they're striking back there. And you better believe our focus is now on this right here. So I'll just have them swinging. Do whatever you got to do to brush the grass on your left leg, and I try to find out how far to the left I can go, because that's telling me at impact, club's working its way in a descending blow, which is what we want. When we hit behind it, now we're ascending into it. So to get consistent, we got to make consistent returns to impact. So this is drill number 1. Again, I've had good success with that. Number 2, we could even go with the lie board. You know, obviously we don't have a lie board, sitting at your house. But the idea of this drill is to exaggerate us hitting down on the golf ball. If I swing up on it, we'll obviously get some feedback. Okay, I hung back there, obviously it fell back, but good feedback with that. So what this is trying to do, and again, it's to exaggerate a little bit. I'm really going to make sure I'm coming down into the golf ball. Okay, but still kind of same swing. Kind of boned it a little bit, but no divot behind the golf ball. Make sense? The last drill I would do, and again, it's all to get us into the same spot. We bring this club back, you know, and especially because I feel like at impact we can get you to have more weight on that front leg. You know, you kind of get to the top and are a little bit upper body oriented. So what this drill does, I'm going to place this club back into the middle of our stance. I'm actually going to hit some balls off of my left leg. Now again, what this is going to get you out of is just kind of throwing your hands at the golf ball. Here you really got to make sure you have a little bit more weight on your left side. You've got to lead with your hands to get to this golf ball. Alright, so what we'll do here is really making sure when I do this drill, hands lead the race and I got a little bit more weight on my left side, get you out of that position. Okay, so drill kind of, I'm still focusing here. Drill would look something like that. And again, I mean, what this is going to do is this is going to get you out of that divot that's directly behind you. Okay, you got to do something special to hit way behind the golf ball when we're trying to hit it over there. And then we can kind of move the ball back and forth so we can get a little more comfortable with it. Make sense? All three drills get you down to the same spot at impact. All right. So try that for a little bit.